now I was truly happy to see a Sailor Moon beat 'em up. Cause back in the day, I was a fan of Sailor Moon, the anime. But this game is very disappointing. The limited move set and also the limited enemy. They keep reusing the same enemy and just changing the color. This game should have been so much more. And next up, we got no other than Lobo. I'm sorry, Nintendo, I'm not picking on you. I think this game only came out on the Super NES. But when I heard that Lobo had a fighting game coming out, I was truly excited. He is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. But what the hell, Nintendo? You release a game in this state. Shame, shame, shame on you. Good thing about that, back in the day, Funko Land let you try out a game before you buy it. Thank you, Funko Land. And now, for full disclosure, I did not own the game. I had never had, but I had played on before. So full disclosure, all footage in this video are shot using an emulator. And the good thing about that, having an emulator, I can have access to game that I don't want to take up my wall space, which give me more room in for game for my collection. That's why I like to use an emulator on certain occasions, especially occasion like this. And now this past weekend, me and my family, we drove up to Colorado. It's about a 12-hour trip. But while we up there, we ran into a lot of unique people, and a lot of our conversation was about Gundam. It was amazing to me how many people are all different age groups that love Gundam, and I love Gundam too. But in talking all about Gundam, it made me have flashbacks about the game that came out on the Super Nintendo, the Gundam Beat 'em Up. I guess you won't say beat 'em up, I guess you said fighting game. When I first heard about that game in the Game Informer, I was truly excited that we were getting a Gundam game. Back in the day, a Gundam game used to come over there in Japan and nobody come over here in the States. But getting a fighting game, a Gundam, in the States was just amazing. Until I actually got my hand on the game. And once I started playing the game, I had mixed emotion. I guess, to be honest, I was trying to convince myself that this was a good game. But me being honest with myself, I just could not swallow that pill. And the more time I spent with this game, I realized how generic this game truly is. This game is, I really don't have words for it, but just take a look at the screen. The background is so static. It got, I don't know, is them actual Gundam back there? Or is them sand, figures of Gundam? The color is so bland. And you look at the ground, I don't know, is the battle in this game about fighting over the shadow? You can only get one shadow on one Gundam at a time, so are we fighting for the right to keep the whole of the shadow? I don't know that. The moveset is not all that great neither. Even back in the day, we used to get uncooked game. What I mean by uncooked, I mean they not finished. This game could have been so much more if they would put a little more time and effort into the game. Add something in the background, a battle, a Gundam, or a ship, something flying by, and make the world seem more lived in. The world looks so bland and so empty. Oh my God, it could have been so much more. And now when I first heard about this game in the Game Informer, I was truly excited. Because back in the day, we don't have games dropping almost every other day or a lot of indie games that you can actually play on your console. So when someone new was coming out, you were looking forward to that new experience. But this game right here was truly a big letdown. And the name of this game is Gundam Wing Endless Duel. You had a total of 9 playable characters in the game. But with those 9 characters, the game was not balanced when it comes to the fighting and skill level. But lucky for you guys, it's building Gundam games out there on the Sega Dreamcast and the PS2. Oh yeah, fellas. Now this is what we are here for. This is the biggest, most disappointing game of all time. Everybody know I love the Avengers. I heard an Avengers game was coming out. I seen it in the Game Informer. It only coming to Japan. I figured it's just only a matter of time for it to come to the console. But it never made its way to the console. Oh my Lord. But even though it's never made it over here, but I did heard it came to a 1-up arcade. I never seen it. I never got my hand on it. And thank you, Lord, for this emulator that I finally got a chance to play this game. But when I played the game, I had to remember it been over 10 years since I seen this game in the Game Informer. So as over the years and time passed, you know, the 3D gaming improved a lot. And so this way back in the day, back when we had a Furry Killer Instinct game came out. And just for those of y'all who do not know, this original game originally came out in 1995. That's a long time ago. And now, if my memory serves me right, this was the third to last game that Data East released before they sunk like the Titanic. And now I know that Disney and Marvel, they merged together. Now, I could swear that the Dark Knight didn't have a lightsaber, but to me, it looked like he held a lightsaber in his hand instead of a sword. That just make me wonder, so are you telling me that Data East can see the future? Okay, enough of that. Okay, let's get back to the task at hand. Sorry about that, getting off track. And now, for those of y'all who remember, Data East, they the one who brought us the fighting game Captain America and the Avengers. That was truly a great game back in the day, but unlike the Captain America and Avengers, this is not a beat-em-up, this is a fighting game. The first 5 fights, you fight nothing but boss. And these boss, like no other than to spam their special moves and their assistant help. But it brings back memories back in the day when my younger brother was playing with my son in a fighting game, Marvel vs. Capcom, and he keeps saying, stop spamming, that's a projectile. And this basically what this game do. Projectile, projectile, projectile. Oh my God, projectile. But luckily for me, this ain't the first time I run into a problem with a game like that. So I decided to stick to the basics just to get the win. Even though I had to adjust and recalibrate to the situation, I didn't have a good time playing this game. You know, this game could have been so much more if they put a little bit more time and a little bit more effort into the game and make the game more fair. And I can see people giving up and don't want to play this game, but it can be very frustrating. Now, anyone know me? I always consider it no such thing as a problem. It only such thing as a situation, and a situation are made to change. All about your mindset, baby. And now, at the beginning of the game, you have a total of 4 heroes that you can play in story mode. One of them is Cap, Thunderstrike, Crystal, and the Black Knight. Also in the game, you have assistants that can help you on your way with your adventure. And the characters are no other than Iron Man, or other words, Shellhead, Thor, and Vision, and Goliath, a giant man, however you want to say it. And if you thought the fighting part was bad, it ain't nothing like a game with a bad plot and a weak story. This game have it all when you want to talk about things that could be improved on. And you be saying, really? This all y'all got? It took y'all all that to come up with a weak story like that? But don't take my word, check it out. But to be honest, you won't find the story or the plot here because I did not want to waste screen time on a story that did not matter. So you would have to play the game for yourself or look it up online. Wikipedia, people, Wikipedia. As you can see in this footage right here, I am trapped in the corner and he just continued to spam his special move. I barely could do anything. Even in this, if I managed to get a special move out, it do little to no damage. And now, if seeing it, believe it, here we go. Special move, little to no damage. So I decided it was a power attack won't work. I try my best with a physical attack to bust your knee. And with that, I still did not prevail. So I decided to do another power attack. You know, in most games, when you get hit with a power attack, it is such thing called chip damage. This guy took no chip damage. But if he did, I did not see it, or if that's the case, it little to nothing to the damage he took, in comparing to the damage that he dish out when you are blocking. And now, when I first got turned on to a superhero, I about around the 3rd or 5th grade. But the anticipation of adventure fighting game with heroes that I know of and I have read about, I was truly excited, you know, to play this game. But once I got my hand on this game, I was truly disappointed. And sometimes when you are younger and you're imaginative and presumptive of what the game could be or will be, it can be misleading. As I continue to play game, I don't truly get excited until I get all the information or find out all the resources about the game. And once I do that, that kind of helps me keep from over expecting from the game. Because once you get honest about yourself and you see a little of the narrative, But I will say this, sometimes when other people talk about a game, it's kind of best you check the game out for yourself. Because some people love giving misleading information. It just make them feel like they the big dog. And now, if you know me, I'm not a sheep. I don't follow the herd. I kind of do my own thing, because that's what made me Mr. Showdown 99, baby. As you continue to battle your way through the story mode, after each boss fight, you do regain a little bit of your health. But each boss will start the fight with full health. And that was another thing that made the game kind of difficult. And it kind of like they got 2 health bars to whatever you got left over from the last battle. And as you make your way through the story mode and you beat the final boss, you say, oh, that was pretty short. That was pretty short of a game. But just wait for it, wait for it. Now the true story starts. Now you get to battle all of the heroes and villains in the game. That's when it really gets frustrating. Because instead of just putting up with villain nonsense, now you gotta put up with some hero nonsense. And that is just more frustrating. And another thing that annoyed me about this game, you can be in the middle of pulling out a power move and get countered. But the whole time, I could never counter them in the middle of their power move. And that is ridiculous! It just made me wonder how many times people punch or kick that machine at the arcade. But the most annoying thing that this game do, you in the middle of fighting a hero or a villain, and they call for assist, and the assist hold you there for you can't move until they get out their power move. Game over, man. Game over. And it just make you wonder how many people walk away from the machine cussing and talking to themselves. And now, my question to you guys, have you heard of this game or even played this game? The Avengers Galaxy Storm? What is your take on this game? So if you have played this game, please leave a comment down below. I was trying to show y'all the ending of this game, but it was getting late and I was getting frustrated with the same foobar, and so I decided to end it here. Alrighty then, and that's it for me today, boys and girls. If you got any comment, please sound off at the bottom in the comment. Until next time, see ya!